Good morning, all of you, my students. Today, environmental management. Students, what is the need of environmental management? What is the need? Students, Mahatma Gandhi famous slogan. Nature is for our need and not for our greed. That is why nature is very important. Our environment is very important, and to manage the environment, Jio Jivat Se Jivanam. This is also important. That is why in this chapter we have to learn about the environment and the environmental management and what is ecosystem, all that. It is our responsibility. Think about the man. That man has been awarded as a Padma Shri award. Jadhav Molai Pang. Many people come together to destroy a jungle, but if one man can establish a jungle. That's why Jadhav Molai Pang has been cultivated the plants in an area of 136 acre. He has been cultivated the plants. Imagine, only one man can establish a jungle. What is our responsibility? So students, what is environment? In our surrounding, so many biotic and abiotic factors are present, and the interaction between biotic and abiotic factors is called as the ecosystem. You are familiar with the word ecosystem and the biotic and abiotic factors. Ecosystem is made up of biotic factors and abiotic factors. Biotic factors and abiotic factors. What is meant by biotic factors? Bio means living and abiotic means non-living things. What is the meaning of bio? Bio means living things and abiotic means non-living things. Living things and non-living things. Then which are the living things? All the animals and plants and all types of living organisms are included in the biotic factors, and abiotic factors, sun, water, soil, rocks are all the non-living material is included in this abiotic factor. Students, look at the diagram 4.1 given in your textbook. Food chain is given. You have familiar with the word producers, consumers, and consumers. What is meant by producer? All the plants, all the greenery around us. Plants, with the help of photosynthesis, they prepare their own food material. In the presence of sunlight, they prepare their own food material. And that's why all the plants are very important in the environment. And that is why you have to plant the trees. It's our duty to plant the trees, to conserve the trees. Students, all the plants are included in the producers, and what is consumer? The organism which feeds upon the producers are called as the consumers. And what is about the food chain? Food food chain is a mechanism of all the organism, producers, consumers, primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer, apex consumer. जीवो जीवत से जीवनम, all the organisms are depends for food on the another organism, and that we call as the food chain. Students, ecosystem is formed by biotic and abiotic factors, and there is a continuous interaction between the biotic and abiotic factors, and that continuous interaction between biotic and abiotic factors. For example, plants are biotic factors. All the plants are biotic factors, and they depend upon the sunlight and carbon dioxide they take from the environment. With the help of sunlight, plants prepare their own food material, and with the help of sunlight in the presence of chlorophyll, plants prepare their own food material, and that process is called as the photosynthesis. Wait a minute and think upon it. There is a continuous interaction takes place between the biotic factors and abiotic factors. Imagine what will happen if the oxygen is not present in the environment. We all organism totally depends on the oxygen for the respiration, and that is why there is a continuous interaction between the biotic and abiotic factors, and that we call it as an ecosystem. Visualize which are the ecosystems. Which are the ecosystem? Some plants and animals are live in water. Some plants and animals live on the land. Some animals or the organism in the aeration. That's why ecosystems are terrestrial ecosystem. The organisms of ecosystem that are present on earth or land is called as the terrestrial ecosystem. Then aquatic ecosystem. There are two main types of aquatic ecosystem: marine water ecosystem, freshwater ecosystem. Either the organisms are present in a fresh water, or either the organisms are present in a marine water. That is why terrestrial ecosystem, aquatic ecosystem. Then desert ecosystem. Desert is also ecosystem. Different types of habitats. Another terminology is habitat. Another terminology of science is habitat. Habitat means the place where the organism live. That is called as the habitat. Each factor plays an important role. Each and every factor of the ecosystem play an important role in the ecosystem. Producers like the plants are very important. Just we discuss it. Plants are very important. Then the consumers are also important. For example, the herbivores like the deer and goat, which deer, goat, sheep, giraffe, horses, camels. These organisms feeds on the producers, and that is why we call it as the predators. Predators like lion and tiger, which prevent the overpopulation of herbivores, that are very important. And herbivores are very important. Herbivores we discuss: deer, goat, sheep. These are the herbivores. Producers, herbivores, carnivores, apex consumers, lion, camels, tigers, and the apex consumer eagle is also important. That's why in environmental science, each and every factor of an ecosystem is very important for the interaction between biotic and abiotic factors. A question may arise in your mind that caterpillars found in nature and that are very important. caterpillar, butterfly that plays an important role. Butterflies plays an important role in the cultivation of agriculture. Students, it means that due to these factors around us, we should care for these factors, and that is why the name of the chapter is environmental management. We should take care of each and every object or the organism or the factors, and that's why there is a need of environmental management. Students, the chart is given in your textbook, page number 37. The chart, diagrammatic chart, demonstrate you that ecosystem is consist of abiotic and biotic factors. Abiotic factors may be physical or chemical. Physical factors includes air, water, mineral, all that factors we call it as the physical factors. Then inorganic factors, all the gases, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium, iron, sodium, all are included in the inorganic factors. Again, autotrophs and heterotrophs are present. Then in a autotrophs, producers are present, heterotrophs, animals and decomposers. Decomposers are also play an important role. Then primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumers, we may call it as apex consumer, that are very important. Students, what is the relationship between environment and ecosystem? Environment and ecosystem are very important, and there is a close relationship between environment and ecosystem. Environment is so broad concept, and that is why physical, chemical and biological factors are very important, and that affect on all living organisms in any possible way. So collectively we call it as environment. Collectively, that may be see the diagrammatic representation or the concept map given. All the factors that may be physical factor, chemical factor, biological factor. In a biological factor, proteins, carbohydrates and fats are important, and that we take during the diet, and that is why in short environment is a condition in which the biotic, abiotic, natural and all the factors are important. There are two main types of ecosystem, environmental ecosystem, and we discuss the ecosystems of environment. But if there is artificial surrounding, that environment we call it as a artificial environment, natural environment and artificial environment. Students, when paddy is cultivated in a large scale, paddy is cultivated and rice is very important in our diet, and that is why in a paddy field in South India, paddy fields are frequently attacked by the grasshopper. Again and again the number of grasshoppers increase, and frogs are also present because water is present. Paddy field is cultivated in a watery squares, and that is why frogs are also there, grasshoppers are also there, and there is a food chain, and snakes are also there. Frogs are the favorite food of the snakes, and that is why this is the food chain. In that paddy fields, grasshopper, then frogs and snakes, and number of paddy fields to feed on the grasshoppers, and the snakes feeds on the frogs, and that's why the frog population declines all a sudden. All a sudden a frog population declines because snakes are there, and there is a adverse effect on that food chain. Students, you have to remember the food chains, and write the different types of food chains. So many food chains. You know the producers, consumers, primary, secondary, tertiary, and which organism depends on which organism. Prepare a chart in your classwork notebook and remember that natural environment consists of all the natural factors. All the natural factors, all the natural factors are air, sunlight, rocks, soil, land, living organism, and there is a continuous interaction between the biotic and abiotic factors, and their interactions are very important. But in an artificial environment is also affecting the natural environment directly or indirectly. Basically, environment consists of that two factors, obviously biotic factors and abiotic factors. But the science that deals with the study of interaction between biotic and abiotic factors in an environment called as the ecology, that we call as the ecology, and the basic fundamental unit of the ecology is ecosystem. See, the basic fundamental unit of an ecosystem that we call as the ecology, the branch of science that we study the ecosystem called as the ecology. See students, earth is very important to study the ecology. Ecology. We are studying the new concept ecology. Earth is a planet and on the planet is also an ecosystem. Different types of ecosystems are present on Earth. You remember, if Earth is considered as our home, and we are the member of the home, and what is our responsibility to take care about each and every factor present on Earth, that we call as the trees and water. It is our responsibility to use the water and all the environmental factors neatly, kindly, and taking the responsibility for the conservation and the protection of the natural resources. Students, you have to write the concept map in your students. इकोलॉजी को समझते हुए अगर आपने ऐसा कंसीडर किया, इकोलॉजी एंड व्हाट इज माय ड्यूटी अबाउट द इकोलॉजी. पृथ्वी एक घर है, ये इमेजिन एक घर है, घर में हमारा एक मंदिर है, हमारा जो हाउस, और उस हाउस के हम पुजारी है. तो व्हाट इज आवर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी अबाउट द नेचर. See, this is the ecological prayer. It may be for the water conservation, it may be for the natural resources conservation. That is why imagine that Earth is considered as पृथ्वी एक घर है, और घर में हमारा जो हाउस है वो हाउस मंदिर है, और उस मंदिर के हम पुजारी है. पुजारी क्या करता है, बहुत ही सर्विस देता है, बहुत ही अच्छी तरह से वो मैनेज करता है. वैसे ही इट्स आवर ड्यूटी टू मैनेज आवर एनवायरमेंट एंड राइट डाउन अबाउट द जिओ जीवत से जीवनम. जिओ जीवत से जीवनम, जगा आणि जगू द्या, यावर तुमचं जे मत आहे. प्राण्यांविषयी, पक्ष्यांविषयी, बघा आता स्पॅरोज आपल्याला दिसत नाहीयेत, त्या स्पॅरोज विषयी, चिमणीविषयी पण तुम्ही लिहू शकतात. वेगवेगळ्या फूड चेन्स तुम्हाला त्या लिहायच्या आहेत. त्यानंतर डिस्कस व्हाय द नेचर इज फॉर आवर नीड अँड नॉट फॉर आवर ग्रीड. यू मे राइट इन युअर classwork notebook and draw the diagrammatic representation 4.1 and the classification of ecosystem, definition of ecosystem. Students, and think that who is responsible for the deforestation And what is my responsibility towards the environmental management to protect all the factors. So students, remember, revise and read and write this chapter. Have a nice day.